I'm Pragya, and I bring to you excerpts from the current issue of Outlook that looks at two cover stories, two narratives of war, one mythical, one real, Ramayana and that between Israel and Hamas. In the issue titled In Memory of Elusive Peace, Outlook delves deeper into the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. In the introduction, In Memory of Elusive Peace, editor Chinki Sinha writes, You cannot continue to victimize someone else just because you yourself were a victim once. There has to be a limit. Edward Said, Palestinian American writer and political activist. For 17 years, I have kept this little memory of him, a frame of the mosque with bullet marks. He had signed his name along with the others. This was in Syracuse University in New York in 2006. This is to remind you of us, he said. By us, he meant Palestinians. He's a radio journalist. I write in the present tense because I don't want to think he's dead. He said his mother always kissed on his head when he would leave in the morning for work. I think he mentioned that he lived in Gaza or Ramallah. I'm in touch with a few others who were there that evening from Egypt and Poland, but he was lost to us. He wrote Palestine underneath his name. In June that year, there was yet another conflict. Operation Summer Rains was followed by Operation Autumn Clouds, and there was a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, which broke down in 2007. There have been many escalations since then, many strikes, and many lives lost. The other evening, someone posted about children writing wills in Gaza. In October 2023, war broke out again between Hamas, the militant Islamist group that had controlled Gaza since 2006, and Israel. Thousands of people have died on both the sides. Among them, many are children. Nearly half are under 18 in Gaza. A 2021 report by Euromed Human Rights Monitor found 91% of Gaza's children suffered from conflict related trauma. A 2022 report by Save the Children found 80% of children reported emotional distress. I stumbled upon a will written by a child named Haya in Gaza on the website of Arab Network for Early Childhood. Hello, I am Haya. I will write my will now. My money, 80 shekels. 40 shekels for Mama, 5 for Gina, 5 for Hashim, 5 for Grandma, 5 for Aunt Heba, 5 for Aunt Mariam, 5 for Uncle Aboud, and 5 for Aunt Sarah. My toys and all my stuff go to my friends Zina, Rima, Mena, Amal, and my sister. My clothes go to my cousins. And if there's anything left, donate it. Donate my shoes to the poor and needy, after washing them, of course. My accessories are for my cousins, Sarah, and my aunt's daughter, Heba. While Israel has ordered more than 1 million Palestinian civilians in northern Gaza to evacuate, Gaza is running out of water, fuel, and supplies after Israel put an aid blockade in effect. Hospitals have been struck. There is rubble everywhere in Gaza. In other parts of the world, we are being asked to choose a side. When children begin to write their wills, something must be terribly wrong with us. The war, the arguments. I will call him R. He was younger than the rest. In April 2004, a group of journalists came to Syracuse as a part of an exchange program. We decided to meet later at my house. R told me a few things about life in Palestine. You see a lot of rockets. The night flares up sometimes. There is that sound of death. The streets have these bombed out buildings. The war is always there, in your head and outside. That's what is normal for us. We don't know when we will be hit, but we live till we can. I decided to be a journalist because I wanted to tell our stories, he had said. I know I wasn't going to find him when I went to Israel in 2009, but we always hope for the impossible, like peace. Just as none of us is outside or beyond geography, none of us is completely free from the struggle over geography. That struggle is complex and interesting because it is not only about soldiers and cannons, but also about ideas, about forms, about images and imaginings. Edward side, in culture and imperialism. There was a bit of that in Wadi Nisnas in Haifa. Here, instead of the memorials built all over Israel as an ode to the victims and the historical persecution of the Jews, there were stories of love and coexistence. In this small neighborhood where Jews, Christians, and Muslims have lived together for years, artists had painted hope on the blackened and damaged walls. Peace seemed like a possibility here. There's always a way out. There is always an alternative. I saw a little white bird an artist had hung on a small balcony. This was a place of imaginings. I remember a graffiti on a crumbling building facade where an artist drew a safety pin in the shape of the Mediterranean Sea. The open ends of the safety pin perhaps symbolized the tryst with elusive peace. There have been talks about peace. It exists in talks, treaties, in people's dreams, artists' visions. The loose end of that safety pin need to be secured. Maybe then peace will come. To me, it also seemed like the eye that is fated to cry forever, the tears draining out from the gap like hope. For this and more, read the current issue of Outlook.